All right, so now we need to talk about the actual learner experience. So what are our students going to do in order to show us that they are successful? Like what evidence are they going to give us?
They're going to have to write an email.
It says, how will the student show evidence of learning? Process, product, or performance. So in this case, we are producing a product, and it is going to be the email. Excellent. All right. Just to keep in mind, we need to make sure when we're doing this formal progress monitoring, okay, we have check for understanding daily. You do that many, many times a day. This is way more formal. It should be planned in a PLC as we did today, so that for a particular topic. So one of the things we want to make sure we have is that it's authentic student work. So just for some examples, we maybe name an authentic student work and maybe a non-example. Because ours was definitely, I could definitely say it was authentic because first of all, the children are composing it completely by themselves. Then when we're doing this authentic student work, we want to make sure we're showing the student thinking. With them composing this email, it's almost like the whole thing is their thoughts. And then once you get into looking at the success criteria, you can even dig deeper into their thought process about, okay, I feel like maybe Beyonce said, I feel like my tone was on point. And then maybe you could discuss more, well, who's your audience? What would that tone, what are you trying to accomplish? So you could even go more in depth with that. But what are some other ways, like other contents, other things that we do that aren't writing samples? Because those are really good ways to see student thinking. For me, if I'm looking in the math, of course, a multiple choice question would not elicit student thinking. And sometimes a simple naked problem, we call it naked, like if it was just said, let's say -2 + 8, that wouldn't elicit thinking. And we need to be able to show the math. So maybe I would say something like model, or show me 2 ways to prove that -2 + 8 is 6. So I'm actually seeing their thinking, and it's very authentic. So what other possible do's or don'ts can you add to this little?
Don'ts would be a 1-word answer. At least in social studies, when you're thinking about it, would just be yes or no, true or false, matching kind of stuff, unless you could really see their justification for the answer, unless they added a justification or explained why the other ones are not answers, then I think those could work. But I think also authentic student work needs to make sure that student work connects to the success criteria. So even if I had a short answer response per se with ACEs, if I had a short answer response and it didn't connect to the success criteria, then I don't think that would be authentic student work. Let's say if it was a do now or something and it wasn't connecting to any kind of success criteria from the day before or the day of, then it wouldn't make sense. Why would I be evaluating that when I have a success criteria and learning attention that I need to hit?
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I was brought back to, just in a meeting, just something to think about are our process standards. And when we're doing something, justification, of course, is one of the process standards, problem solving, different things like that, to kind of think that is going to help you elicit that evidence of that student thinking if you're using some of those process standards, or referring back to them, are we doing any of these? That may help you think that. All right, Button, how about you? And ELA, of course, we know writing.
That's writing is our thing. It is the writing part.
Do you have, is there any way to, let me say this, is there any way to show student thinking for vocabulary?
For vocabulary?
Mm-hmm.
Vocabulary is one of those things where in ELA, it's I don't like teaching vocabulary in isolation like that. And This is what I would do, though, if this was an assignment in ELA. I would divide the class, and then one half would be the what we just did. With your principal, this and that, whatever, do that. But the other half would be the ones receiving those emails, and they now have to respond. So it's given and vice versa, letting them kind of see their thinking from a different perspective. Mm-hmm. I like to do that a lot in ELA. And what I used to do, I would I'll get a topic, and I'm are you for or against this? And then I'll make them write on the opposite one. And they're man, I didn't know you were gonna do that. So I like to do that too, to just spice it up a little bit. But it shows it's authentic, because now they have to really okay, I didn't really want to, they're really researching, they're really thinking about the topic now from a different perspective. And I like that thinking too. I'm I know what you think about this, but what if it was, different?
And I want to refer back to when you said you don't like to teach vocabulary in isolation. I think that then it creates a learner experience that's very take because you're mixing it. They have to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Because my brain initially was just thinking, well, maybe you have them write like sentences with that word, like, you know, so that it's they're pulling in real world experience and showing it that way. But I'm guessing when you said not in isolation, that's exactly how it is. It's a situation where you pull that vocab in, so you're kind of hitting it both. So your success criteria would be built based on what you're doing, and then the vocabulary would be to your success criteria.
Right.